Hi, Jared.
Okay, so this camera.
Hello.
You guys have this one. Just if you ever want to point and tell someone something into the camera, you know.
Morgan, how you feeling over there, buddy?
Oh, good. I just have, all you can see is my legs. Nice.
Well, that's a
I know this podcast is very leggy for now.
Leggy brand. This is pretty awesome, man. I like that.
Heck yeah.
Recording, audio's recording. Everybody can hear themselves, or
Let's see.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
That's all good.
I don't get a condom on my microphone.
Yeah.
And you're the one that needs one, huh?
Because I've got a dirty mouth.
You can borrow mine.
That's okay.
That's hilarious.
I guess we've been on the road for.
These are all new, unused condoms, except for that red one. I used that one last week. So, what else do we got?
Just wash it off.
Yeah,
Just back off.
This podcast is just me running everything. So if you see me get up and you don't have to address it, you can just keep talking and whatever you're talking about because it might happen a few times because I can't see the red light, so I get paranoid.
He's getting up. He's getting a gun out.
I'm like, does it record? Okay, this one's recording. We got lights, we got cameras, we got action, and we got the Aaron Ball Band. Oh, I'm already losing microphone. You guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. It's just got a little poppiness.
This is how this podcast goes. But luckily it's called BandHouse, so I think everybody kind of understands.
Yeah.
We haven't even done the theme music. Why don't we just start off hot with some theme music? Nope. Damn, dude. So close. So close to not having to get up immediately.
Well, I'm not addressing it because he said not to.
Yeah. Just
You
wait,
just sit there and.
I just did by not saying it. By not saying.
Morgan's like, yeah, playing my jam.
Check. Welcome to BandHouse Podcast. With me is the Aaron Ball Band. You guys are on tour. You guys have a van with all your gear right outside.
Yes.
Tell us, let's launch right into that, man. How's tour? I've never done a legit tour. I've done like a weekend thing
Oh, yeah.
in Oregon. That's about as far as I've made it. So where are you guys from?
That's enough, though, right?
Yeah, it is. It gets the idea across. Yeah.
Sorry, you asked
No
a
worries. Yeah,
question.
where are you guys from? And how many places have you played so far on the tour?
This would be, we started Thursday down in Twin Falls, Idaho.
Right on. Yeah, that's cool.
We hail out of Pocatello area in Idaho, which is southeast Idaho.
Right on. So then where's the tour going?
Then
I'm gonna let you guys take over while I fix this cable.
yeah.
You gotta talk into the microphone.
I know. Right there we go.
Look at that.
And then
Check.
Friday we were in Missoula at Monk's. That was fun. And then we did a private party yesterday in Seattle, and now today we're with you, and then we're gonna do a show in Tacoma with our buddies at Lion Pride Music.
Okay, I've heard of Lion Pride. I'm not
Levi,
super familiar with it. Yeah, Levi. Yeah, I met him long ago. I was in the game doing what you guys are doing, minus the touring, really, but like playing in original music and stuff like that. And I remember all these names, and then I got out of it and did loan origination.
Oh, my.
Yeah, family kind of business thing, and it was kind of cool. I could see making a lot of money, but it was like all my time was telling people about their disclosures and it was like just so boring. So I'm back in the game. I remember names like Levi. I remember all this stuff. It's been about 5 years since I've been back at it. The podcast for about 1 year now. It's been going well.
Awesome.
You guys are our first out-of-town band, non-Seattle band.
Well, you're welcome.
I know. I love it. It's official, dude. It makes us feel, we got touring bands on this
Eat your
podcast.
heart out, Alice in Chains.
Exactly. Yeah. So you guys like grunge? You like Seattle music? What's the feels about Seattle from Idaho?
Well, Dave's kind of an 80s guy, but I grew up on
Oh yeah,
that
let's
stuff,
do names.
yeah.
Let's
So-
quick. Let's introduce the band.
Over here on the far... Can you see him?
Yeah, he's
to
on-
your left.
He's on this camera right
Oh,
here.
right. Gotcha. We just can't
Hopefully.
see him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're there. All right. Go ahead, David.
David.
It's Gangsta Dave today. He's got his hat on to
Gangsta
be a
Dave.
gangsta.
I like it.
Yeah.
David plays...
Keys.
Damn, I was gonna guess bass. I always do a guess in
He
my
does
head.
sometimes. His left hand.
Well,
But I'm always wrong.
His left hand. That's
His
his
left
bass.
hand does play, but you have the concept
depends
of
on
bass.
depends on the configuration of the band.
Sure.
I sometimes cover bass
Right.
from the keys, but
This tour,
I'm the
your
key-
left hand gets a little
yeah,
bit
I
of a respite.
get to do what I like to do is just play keys, which is
Of
great.
course. Yeah. And then so we got keys. Dave
I
on
do
keys.
little vocals, but
All right.
mostly keys.
Tight.
Yep. Then to my right, go ahead, Jared, drummer man.
Hi, my name is Jared.
I like to party.
And I like to party. Yes, I play the drums and I do backup vocals.
Right on.
What's your name, Aaron?
Then we got Aaron.
I'm Aaron.
Guitar vocals.
Yeah,
That's right.
correct.
And then last but not least, to my left here,
Yeah, I'm Morgan.
Morgan
Yep, I play bass with
as
him.
the bass.
Nice. You can tell by his voice.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick, if he's playing bass on left hand, does that mean you switch to guitar at some point or anything?
That might come.
We might come.
Yeah.
I'm
It might
fairly
happen.
new with the guys.
Yeah, this is actually
He's the
this is
new
his first
kid
tour
in
with
town.
us. So.
Oh, right on. How long have you guys been a band? How long have you this configuration anyway? I should say.
This configuration about 2 weeks.
Damn. Okay.
So,
tight.
Dave and I have played together for, off and on for
For a
10
decade
years.
now,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jared came in as our official full-time drummer here about 6 years ago.
Tight. Okay.
So the three of us have played together with other musicians. I mean, we have a saxophone player, a fiddle player. We've got
That's
just depending
tight.
on where we're at, we can go anywhere from 2 to
That's the way
6
to
members.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done a lot of touring as a 3-piece, and it's fun, but it's also limiting. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's good to have Morgan here.
Yeah, it's a lot of heavy lifting in a trio. Everybody's doing a little extra.
Yeah, it's great, but we love having a bass player. And Morgan's fantastic musician
That's
as
tight.
well.
How long have you been playing bass? The whole run?
Well, no, I started playing guitar.
Yeah.
And then the last few years I've been playing bass with other bands.
And you started as a kid?
Yeah, when I was about 15.
Same. I always wonder, like, if people who start on bass, it's like, what? Because it's not cool when you're a kid.
Right.
It's always like you don't learn the majesty and the beauty of bass until it's like eating healthy. It's not the sexiest thing in the world, but you have to do it or your song dies. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
But yeah, that low end is such it's a cool thing. But yeah, you started on guitar, so you have a little bit of
did.
6-string action in you.
Yeah.
What kind of bass players do you listen to?
I grew up listening to punk rock, and so
Tight.
like Matt Friedman
For sure. Yeah.
and like Fat Mike kind of
Dude,
thing.
our most
Like-
viral clip is me asking someone, name 3 bass players. And he was like, it's so funny because
Kenny
you can totally
Rogers?
do it. You can totally, yeah. Like Geddy Lee, I think he came up with. Oh my gosh,
really?
Wow, right. But no, I mean, there's Victor
Jocko.
Wooten and there's Jocko Pastorius and there's all kinds of bass players.
Sure.
Matt Freeman's from,
Rancid.
that's what I was going to say, but I didn't want to be wrong. I've had too many punk bands on. I'm an admitted punk novice, though my first band, Conundrum, was a punk band. And I play guitar, power chords, and it was dope. So my roots kind of have some punk in it, but I don't know the history and all that stuff. So I try to
Sure.
We watched the history of punk rock yesterday, actually, in the drive over this
There
way.
is a
Yeah, it was
how
on
fun.
Dewey Cox. You know, the Walk Hard.
I love, dude. We've been quoting that movie. There's a scene. There's a song. I don't know if it's in the movie because I don't remember, but we were listening to it, and it's I stand for. Just
Yeah, it's like
blasting off
Yeah.
words that I'm
Songs
definitely
for
gonna
the
be.
the elevator buttons.
I couldn't
So
believe, or like, yeah,
incredibly
like
high.
the something. I mean, it's really clever racism. It's funny.
Yeah,
It's really,
yeah,
it's a wonderful like 2009 thing.
yeah. Let
whatever
me
year
put
that
you on
was.
your shoulder so the dog will quit licking your face.
Yeah, yeah, that's one of my favorite movies of all time.
When the woke people were still asleep.
Right, back in the sleep times, back in the slept times, and they were making comedy movies.
The sleeper age.
What else? It's the cheapest drug there is.
Yeah.
Well, I think I do want some. Nah, you don't want it.
not
I
have
do.
it for me.
right.
So that's tight. You guys tour around watching movies, watching Dewey Cox and shit. Yeah, let's go back to the original
In the
question.
van, yeah.
And take me through day 1 of the tour, or like maybe day 0, like prepping for a tour. And you guys are used to this, so this is probably more streamlined than the
and,
first tour.
And we're only out for like 10 days. It's a pretty short run for us.
That
so.
seems good.
Yeah.
What's your longest run?
We usually actually keep it to around less than 2 to 3
Smart.
weeks tops,
Yeah.
and I mean we got families. We're not making enough money doing this that we can all quit our day jobs yet.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I mean I did, but the rest
Is that
of
the
you
goal?
guys-
Is that the goal to get the rest of these guys on par?
Yeah. Well, I think every musician dreams of that ability to make a living.
Because I have the same thing. I quit all that stuff. Well, I'm doing like a dog watch. I do like Uber. I do everything I can, but I don't have the 9 to 5.
Right. Yeah.
And all my bandmates do, and I'm like, man, I would love to be able to present them enough money.
Right.
Like, but they have families and stuff. I'd really have to come up with benefits and shit. It's like I'm far from that.
Right. Yeah, and that's
Right.
kind of where we're all at. I mean, I think that we call it minor leagues. Minor leagues.
You're
You
the
know?
farm system.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
getting good, just crafting your skills and
Yeah,
whatnot.
I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and we're pretty comfortable and happy with where we're at. Obviously, we'd love to make more money and not have day jobs, but we've got a really good thing going, and that's
absolutely
awesome.
What's the longest tour?
I think the longest we've been out. Dave and I did a cruise ship for a while, and so we were out like what,
4 months.
4.5 months, yeah, and so
Dude, that'd be gnarly. I've been on a cruise ship. I just can't
It
imagine, because I know they put you down in the hole
Yeah.
and they don't let you mingle.
on that. No, we
Well,
had to mingle. That was a part
Oh,
of
you
our
had to
job.
mingle. That's almost worse.
It was actually really great, man.
That's
We
cool.
pull into port and it's like, all right, what are we going to do today? Go climb a pyramid, go
you guys really
go
got it.
kayak and they've just hand you tickets to go do whatever.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
part of our job as musicians was to make the guests on the ship feel good.
I've heard a lot of negative stories, so that's cool that you guys.
Oh,
have
it was a
what
great
cruise
job.
line? Let's give them a shout out.
Carnival Cruise Line.
Carnival Cruise Line. If you're a
Yep.
musician, dude, it's
Yep.
the first
Yep.
positive story I've heard.
Oh,
and
yeah.
4 months, dude.
And we were musicians too, and so of the crew on the ship, there was like 11 Americans.
Out of 1400.
Yeah, and
They
so
really do a class
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
on,
we're
on the cruise ships.
Americans.
They really want you to.
and we're musicians, so we got like the royal treatment, man. I have no complaints about how we were treated on
Who
the
were the
ship.
other 8 or 7 American crew?
One of them was the cruise director. They're always
Oh,
American.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Or
some of the other
Australian.
musicians,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
it was all
So-
in the entertainment part of the
Yeah.
that were.
You're not.
Americans.
Dude, some of those servers when the. Did you guys get any?
a little bit.
Rough seas.
We got
I'm-
knocked
all
out
I
of
can
our
think of is
bunks one night.
turbulence. Yeah, rough seas.
we
Yeah.
didn't realize the ocean was moving until you got off the boat, and then you realized
Right.
Yeah.
the ground was moving.
Yeah, land
Right.
sickness is
Land
way worse than
sickness
sea
was-
sickness.
Oh yeah, dude. 4 months getting used. You really get used to it. I've only done a week, so I never got fully used to the.
Yeah.
I'm always like very aware that we're not level.
Yeah, no, it was good.
And then it was you 3 that did the tour,
Just
or
the
just the
two
two.
of us.
Just okay.
Me
So
and
Dave
guys.
and I tour as a 2-man band sometimes. We have in the past as well. So
Oh,
we do a
interesting.
2-piece show, and where
Tight.
I do drums and sing and guitar, and he plays bass and piano and
Keys
sing.
and-
Yeah.
Nice.
So
That's tight.
when we can't get Jared,
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah.
we have to.
Music's hard, dude. It's like, hey, you free on or like today, it's just me because I couldn't get anyone else to co-host with me. Luckily, because I didn't have any more headphones anyway. But it's like 11 a.m. on a Monday. It's hard to get a band together when they have freaking day jobs, you know.
Yeah, no kidding.
But then you have to have the day job to get the money to live. Yeah, it's tough. Scheduling
it's
is tough.
bar band purgatory, right?
Yeah.
And it's what's weird is it seems impossible, but you still do it. Like we all still we're like, nah, it's like in the back of our mind, like, well, for me, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
And it's because it's just what is the alternative? Working in loans and doing mortgages and shit. So
That's
not it.
soul crushing.
Yeah. Just do like the side gigs are good for me. Non-committal,
Yeah.
10-day jobs here and there or whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's I mean, you got to give props out to anyone that plays music. It doesn't matter what their skill level is, how good they are.
What
but
about these old bands that are touring that we all make fun of? Like, oh, look, the Blue Oyster Cult. I'm like, dude, those guys are grinding.
Right.
Their bones are tired, dude.
yeah, well, and all these, whatever you want to call them, bar bands or whatever, man, those guys are working their tail off all day, every day, and then they do this because they love it. You don't make money at it. You don't.
I remember a guy, I forget his name. I think his name was Steve, but I forget his last name. But he was pushing 70, and he would carry his amps up the thing, and I'm just like, oh, I hope I get a roadie before then because I'm not going to stop. So that's what I'm going to have to get in shape.
Yep.
Because those, well, I don't know. Do you guys use amps? Real heavy
This is the
stuff?
first tour I've ever done without a guitar amplifier.
Cool.
I'm doing using a Strymon, going
Cool.
direct. We still have a little tiny. I mean, when you tour, you get down to where the small as
You need the
possible. So
essentials only,
he's
yeah.
using the smallest little
a
bass amp.
orange
Well, that might make
Crest
today's thing easier.
Yeah,
No amps. Yeah.
I mean, drummer. You can tell a drummer that's toured because they don't bring out
the whole thing.
I
yeah.
mean, Jared went crazy last night or 2 nights ago and had 2 cymbals out. You know,
what cymbals?
Bosphorus.
What kind of cymbals? Like a crash and a.
Yeah, so I just like a crash and a ride and hi-hat.
I'm super into cymbals again. I go through phases of just like, because they're way more expensive than the drums usually,
Yeah.
or like can be, and
Well, and they have more character.
yeah, there's so
usually,
much
too.
character. It's obsessive. It's a very, I can't hear the drum difference as good. You know what I mean? Like that's tough for me.
Well, a lot of that's heads anyways, and that's not as, glamorous.
Yeah, it's again, yeah, yeah. Cymbals are sexy. Hi hats, dude.
Oh, wait till you see his hats. Whew.
Nice. What do you got?
They're 15-inch Bosphorus hats that are
Tight.
kind of darker.
I've heard of Bosphorus, but I'm not familiar with them too terribly much. I'm like
Just
Sabian
you
and Siljan. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, they're great company out of Turkey, and
good.
I've been with them for about 5 years now.
That's cool.
Love you guys, Bosphorus in Turkey, if you're listening.
Hell yeah, dude. Shout out. That's the place to make cymbals. They hammer them by hand and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only way, right? That's like the
Well,
best
you
way.
can do it the wrong way, like some companies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah. See, I've heard a little of that. I'm like, yeah, the hand hammered, and apparently you can tell looking at them because it just is too Lego. It looks all Lego-y or
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
that-
too symmetrical.
too symmetrical. Yeah. So you have 2 cymbals while you play, or 1 usually.
I don't know. If we're getting paid enough, I'll pull out another crash.
Hell yeah.
Extra.
I never
extra
realized
pity.
you could do that. As you say, right now I have one set up on the right because I was learning Limelight by Rush, which is a perfect song for someone who can play drums but isn't like a... Because there's triplets, there's stuff,
Yeah.
and it's hard, and I was just doing it for fun. I got obsessed with it, but I would go, ticka, 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 and I've been doing that my whole life because I've only had 1 cymbal. I'm like, wait, if I... And then it's so much easier... But I just learned that at 34 years old. You can just get another cymbal.
There's nothing wrong with that because,
Yeah.
like, what a lot of professionals I've met say is that with limited choices, that kind of stems your creativity.
I do
higher.
love that.
Yeah.
Dude, I heard that in Monty Python.
Yeah.
With-
So that's another reason it's not because I'm a lazy person, but that's part of it.
I love that.
It's also because, there's so much creativeness that's forced upon you with
Yeah.
less options.
Yeah, for sure. That's what the bass guitar was thinking when they took off those 2 strings.
That's right.
Not Morgan though. He's got 5.
Oh yeah,
He
people
wanted a
don't
nice-
do 4 strings
Yeah,
anymore.
he wanted a
I
nice
know,
even number.
And if I had to do it again, it's a bass I made. That's what kind of my day job is instrument repair and building.
Well, that's
and,
tight.
And if I was to do it again, I would have just done a 4-string.
Really?
But
Yeah, I got my classic hanging up right there.
yeah.
It's my uncle's. I inherited a bunch of gear from him when he passed, and that guitar
Oh,
or
that's
that bass
nice.
feels
That's a nice
sick.
bass.
Yeah, I can play that one. Use a pick. I feel like I'm just playing guitar. It's a really good. But yeah, I have a Music Man bass as well. Stingray 34 or something.
yeah.
That was my first one, and I love it. But then this one, I'm like, oh, this is.
Did you get the sea foam green one?
No, it's like that guitar behind you. It's like the same burst, whatever that's
Nice.
called. Fiery
Yep.
sunburst. I make up my own names for 'em.
So does Gibson. Don't worry.
Burning coal. Yeah.
Honeyburst, tobacco
Honey burst. What do you think that? Can you guys see that mandolin? That's a burst of red with different reds.
It's the 3-tone. Or is
Oh
it
yeah,
not quite-
3-tone.
What's the technical name for that, Morgan?
Well, kind of. It's kind of like the 3-tone.
But this one like bursts to black.
right.
Oh, that's the name.
So is it a black
Burst
burst?
to black. Metallica's version. No, I'm not a huge burst fan, but I have like a Strat with the burst. It's almost like you have to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a majillion guitars since I was saying my uncle passed. He was a guitar player. He had like 20 guitars, and I'm the only other guitarist in the family. So it's like now I'm like, I mean that's his kit too. He had all the things. He was a full-time musician. I'm like,
Nice.
his Marshall was the new centerpiece here.
Yeah.
Classic 1982 or 3 JCM 800.
Just sold my. Mine was the B cab though,
Yeah,
but
nice.
I just sold my. 800.
That the one that's straight and not
Yeah,
slanted. Yeah.
yeah.
I only knew because you did the hand sign.
Yeah. 1960, right?
Something good.
Yeah.
And the Marshall doesn't fully say Marshall, so you know it's been
Yeah.
used and lifted.
This one
and-
doesn't go to 11 though.
Oh.
So. It's not the Nigel Tufnell version.
They definitely make those. I bet. Huh?
They do make a A faceplate just for him. Yeah.
Good, I'll need that. That's
this-
one of the most classic music jokes of all time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. And then the sandwiches, when he's folding the sandwiches over.
It's like
He's like, would you eat that? Because then it's...
they're making a second one, I hear, too. So.
Dude, I did hear that, but I didn't really look into it because I was like, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Michael McKean, and he's still crushing it as an
Anything
actor.
Christopher Guest, man.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I want to go back to
we're-
day one of this tour.
ADD is taking over right now.
I bet. Do we all have it?
oh
Usually, I
my
feel like all
gosh.
musicians seem to have it, or like a lot of the traits.
We're behaving ourselves.
I bet the bass
I'm
player.
trying to.
I bet the
Me
bass
too.
player's solid though. You got to have
He
somebody
is.
who.
Morgan's
whose
like,
prefrontal cortex
like
works for
he's got a baby at home and young
yeah.
like this guy right here. He's
Same
got
with
his
my bass.
together.
That's so funny. My bass player has kids, a family, and he's working on guitars and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah, on the
wonder
way
what
here.
that is.
On the way here, he was talking to his kids, but he didn't have his phone up. He was
He had the AirPods in.
Oh, yeah?
And
So-
we're like, who are you talking
like,
to?
"Hey,
Look
baby,
it
I
up."
love you."
It was like when he was like, yeah, that tone of voice totally changes, and you're like, what is going
I
on?
love you too.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm not talking to
It's like,
you.
hey, have a good day. So
Oh, sorry. Back to the tour.
we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
So we called day one in Twin
So
Falls.
you tell your
is that right?
family you got to go for 10 days or 7 days or whatever it was.
I have a great wife, and she let me.
That's a
take
long
off,
time
So.
when there's one kid running around.
And I have 4 kids.
Oh my jeez! How does she do it? Village? She have family and stuff.
Well, she's a teacher, and so she's got the summers off.
Nice, but even still, man, 4 kids.
But yeah.
I'm currently at Beach Week. It's my girlfriend's family has like a beach, and all the kids are there, and they're all between 5 and 10. And they beat me up. They make me play. We do the thing. It's so much fun. I'm a kid at heart. I love playing with kids. But to actually have them alone for 10 days would be a nightmare. So good on your wife. Shout out to your wife, Morgan's
yeah.
wife.
Yeah, we trade off. I helped her get through school. And,
Good.
And while she was going to school and watched the kids, and now she's paying it back.
Sophie's a rock star.
So,
That's tight, dude. Yeah, that's great. That's a good marriage. So it goes back
Yeah.
and forth.
yeah.
But that was a distraction because we were talking about how you didn't have ADHD.
I don't.
My bad. I was like, he probably doesn't, but
Yeah.
Dang it, Morgan.
yeah, you feel left out. Just kidding.
It's like on the football team again, just playing left out.
So how far away was the first gig from your hometown? How do you guys live close together for like rehearsing purposes or
Rehearsal.
Reasonably.
I just mean good point. Good point.
Is that what touring is about?
If only we could play
Good point. Good point.
No, we Dave and I both live around Pocatello, Idaho.
Cool.
Jared lives about an hour and a half north of where we live,
Okay.
just up Sugar City area. If you've ever heard of that,
Sounds
yeah. Mhm. You know, well, everybody will know because that whole what's that lady's name that just went to jail for killing her kids?
Oh,
Oh gosh, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
follow the news, but
Chad and
oh
Lori
yeah,
Daybell.
Jared actually lives very near to where they are.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I went to Boy Scouts at the house. They found the bodies.
What?
That's how creepy this just got. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh.
Oh, this is a good tangent.
This is a good story. We're off of the tour, and now we're on to
There
Jared's
were so many
living.
people that I know that were like, "Hey, spending the day at the house, seeing the cops dig up bodies, or hopefully get to see something." I'm like, "What's wrong with you?
It's just screwed
These are
up, man.
people, man."
Where was this again?
Rexburg, Idaho.
Holy cow, Idaho's got some stuff going on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We've got more than potatoes.
Yeah, for real. Oh, no, that's the first thing I thought of, and I was like, definitely don't make a potato reference.
It's-
No, yeah, no potatoes, no Napoleon Dynamite. But we can talk about murder.
I didn't know,
Although-
I didn't know Napoleon Dynamite.
although Morgan does a killer John Heater impression.
Oh, yeah? Prove it.
Come on, Morgan.
Gosh. Tina, you fat lord.
I think of that when I look at my sign.
Real bad.
I made it's for a certain tier level on my Patreon, where if you pay that, you get a sign for the wall. And my Aunt Tina is our first patron in that tier, and I think of that movie every time I see it. I'm like,
Does Tina listen to the podcast?
yes.
Tina, you can drink whole milk if you want.
I bet she used. I bet during that era she got a lot of those jokes. God, Tina. Oh, that's funny.
Eat your dinner.
So the murder, who got some lady murdered someone recently?
Yeah, her kids. Yeah.
Kids. That happened.
She killed the kids. They found them buried in the yard, I guess. Yeah.
My girlfriend's like a murderophile or whatever the word is.
She probably
Like all
knows about
people-
this.
True
then.
crime?
Yeah, true crime. Yeah, so she's probably heard about it.
She probably knows all
Yeah.
about it.
I am
So-
too, but not at the level where people are like creeping
right.
near the site. I'm not that far.
No, that'd be crazy.
I'm not a degenerate. Like
I'm not
that.
sure if she would. She might do that. My girl. I don't know. We would walk around a hotel. She got the Ghost app out too. So she's all
awesome.
about all of it.
Man, you won the lottery.
I know.
That's awesome.
I know. We do a lot of adventures. No.
Church
what-
like, does she have a sister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, night of ghost adventures and cuddling. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a good time. They should make a show. No. They do. They definitely do. Yeah.
Of cuddling?
A ghost couple probably that goes out and does ghost hunting and they're all cute and stuff. I
Yeah.
guarantee it's on that channel. There's a million of them.
Scott Fagan would be so jealous.
That's the name. You know his name. I was like, what's that guy?
no.
There's a guy. Yeah. Anyway, that's wild. So
Yeah. So, the tour.
Gosh, Dave.
tour's going.
Dave, you're supposed to
could
be roping
say-
us
No
back in
children
here.
were murdered on this
I
tour.
was gonna
so
say
far.
you're killing it. On this tour.
Oh man, too soon.
Oh,
Keep it all, wrap it back around to what we're really
Yeah.
supposed to
We'll
be
get-
talking
we'll get
Dave,
about.
back
help
there.
us get back on track.
Daddy Dave.
Daddy Dave.
Let's see. Where are we? First night? Are we just still on the
We're
first
in
night?
Tacoma right now.
We haven't even got out of Idaho yet.
Oh,
Puyallup.
Oh, Puyallup.
Puyallup. Puyallup.
I heard someone pronounce it pay I don't know. It was something crazy. I can't even remember it. But yeah, Puyallup gets it. Wow, that's
Puyallup.
where I'm from. Born in
Puyallup.
Puyallup. Puyallup. Do the Puyallup.
Puyallup.
This is excellent content.
Wait, are you? I know this is podcast. Honestly, right on track. That's why it's not live. I edit it.
Yeah,
In case we
okay.
just need to pay for pacing. They say.
Yeah.
What's you're playing Puyallup?
No,
No.
I'm playing in
Just-
Tacoma.
Okay.
Tacoma.
Right. I was gonna say that's tough.
So first night, we live pretty close to Twin Falls, so
Yeah.
2 hours. Yeah.
that night we were able to sleep, in our own area. That was nice.
Yeah.
And it was a great crowd.
Yeah.
Probably our favorite place to play in Twin now.
What place?
Called the Tap House and
Second Market.
Yeah.
Second Street Market.
It's a big outdoor.
Oh, I love that.
It's like they got a building with all these different food vendors inside and then an outdoor stage.
Yeah.
So everyone gets food and comes out and big.
That's tight.
Yeah, it's a really nice place.
Was it hot?
For a minute.
For a minute.
And then
Oh my
the
gosh.
clouds came in, but it was good.
It was
Hasn't been
up and
hot
down.
this year at all. I mean, I
We-
got
we've been
rained out
pretty
on the
lucky.
4th, Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the 4th, I played on the 4th. The sun was right in my skin. It was like just somehow. But yeah, other than that, I've survived the summer.
And we loaded up the van and headed to Missoula.
How far would drive?
5.5 hours, probably.
What'd you guys do in that chunk of time?
Playing at a place called Monk's that night.
Monks?
Yeah.
And do you guys play the same set pretty much, or do you feel it out?
Well, we feel it out. We
Morgan, you want to take this one?
we like to play mostly originals.
Yeah.
But sometimes depends on the crowd. You kind of throw in a few things here and there.
If
some
you're
covers.
totally bombing, If you're totally bombing on originals, do you just find a hit song and just play it, or is it like a not quite an audible like that?
Sometimes. I mean, it's just really. I mean, it's all about people, right? We don't play music because we're getting rich and famous. We play because we want to entertain people
Yeah.
and make them feel something. And so, yeah, there's times when we're like, "Yep, that's just not the right song. We'll change it," you know. But for the most part, the thing we've learned, I think, over the years touring and playing is that you just got to be yourself and do your thing.
Yeah.
And we'll play songs that people really love and groove, and we'll be like, oh, yeah, they're really digging the cover stuff. And then that same person will come up to us after the show and be like, man, you guys got to play more of your original stuff. I
Right.
love it. And that's just something we've learned over the years, that stay true to yourself, do what you came there to do, and
Yeah.
put on your show.
Yeah.
But if you don't put on your show, you're never happy.
Right.
When you leave, you're always like, gosh, what could we have done differently? If you do your show and you totally bomb, you totally bomb. But it's surprising
Yeah.
how rare that happens
Right.
compared to bombing doing something that you're just not.
Right.
You didn't come
yeah.
to
In
do.
music, I feel like you can't totally bomb because even it's like rare that there's no one clapping after a song unless it's that kind of a gig.
Right.
Which
Oh,
you
we've
know,
had that before.
Yeah.
and that feeling.
Because
that feeling
nobody
is
was
wild.
there.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah, I'll sit in it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what is this?
Yeah.
So uncomfortable.
All right.
Yeah. So I guess to answer that question, still, yeah, our set list changes. I mean, we have what we call a song list.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
have a
yeah,
set list.
guidelines. We call them guidelines.
Yeah, I mean, and
I feel
we
that's the
usually
way
have.
to do it. I feel like that's because then each night is a performance. It's
Yeah.
a real, legitimate, improvised kind of.
Yeah.
But the crowd doesn't really seem to know because
Right.
we seamlessly go in pretty.
We've been doing it long enough. We
Yeah.
kind of we can read each other's minds. There's times when Jared will start a song because he knows that's what's coming next. even.
Yeah.
And we just okay, that's what's happening.
That's so sick. Dude.
and it's
Yeah.
it's nice to have that connection as a group, and we really do. We've been doing it a long time, and we also we feel it together, and that's kind of the beauty of music, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
feeling something.
Tell me about your original music. How many songs do you have right now playable, ready to go?
Oh, we probably got 20 that we do
Nice.
originals that are put together and that this group can perform.
That's awesome. How many total then that you got?
A lot more than that.
How
I have
many
another-
released albums and everything?
We've got 3 official albums that have
Right,
been out.
right.
I've done some other ones with other bands as well, but
Right on.
3 with this group, and they're all we got 1 full length and 2 EPs
Right.
that we do. So
That's a lot of tunes, man. That's good
And
stuff.
we have one coming out,
yeah,
question mark.
yeah, we
Nice.
recorded one last fall actually, and
Really?
then things kind of whatever happened with the studio, it fell apart, and the
Right.
engineer just didn't get it done. So we actually just pulled him out of that studio and took him to another studio
Yeah.
here a month ago or so ago.
Sweet.
So we got another one coming out soon, and then we do some of our own as well. We've got a couple we've recorded ourselves, and
Dude, that's tight.
So-
yeah, I'll definitely put a link under for the current stuff, and then whenever you guys release it, you have to let me know, and I'll let the fans know.
I
Yeah.
think there's probably a dozen songs on Spotify, maybe 15.
Right
I don't
on.
know.
And we have one coming probably,
In 2
couple-
weeks. Yeah,
couple
it's pretty
weeks.
well
Oh,
good.
recorded. So
and then we're gonna record our Christmas song, get it ready to go.
Oh, you have your original Christmas song?
No, it's a
Okay.
cover. But you know what? We should write a Christmas song.
Yeah, dude.
we
we could.
Yeah.
we can write anything.
Yeah. Dude, that's tight. I like the confidence. I'm not a writer myself. I write. I compose. I suppose was what I compose because I don't
Yeah.
the lyrics in the songs. I like a song. I've written songs, but it's like I'm never super happy with it, and therefore I don't do it enough to be a songwriter. Like to really. I don't know. Nothing you don't know, probably.
Yeah. I've written hundreds of songs, and most of these guys probably haven't heard 90% of them
Right.
because
Yeah. You have to go through a lot of.
and sometimes songs are for you.
Sure. Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
we write for people.
I guess in that case, I am a writer.
Yeah.
Because I write a lot for myself, and it never sees the light of day. But it's
Right.
like I think about it sometimes.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I mean, I was a drummer, so I didn't write, and I started writing poetry. Like in my freshman year of high school, I wrote a ton of poems. I got an English teacher that got me into that, right? And so
Right.
I had like a notebook, like fat notebook full of poems and crap I'd written. And my dad actually found my notebook one time, and he was like worried about me.
Oh,
he was like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
geez,
yeah,
what are
yeah.
you writing about, man?"
Being honest, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
for real.
So I've written a lot of stuff. I mean, my phone's probably got 300 or 400 notes on there of
Oh, yeah.
songs and ideas, and that's just something we do. Writing is it's a process that's, I don't know if it's you want to say therapeutic or whatever, but and then
Sure
sometimes
is.
you get one of those ones out there that's like, yeah, this isn't just for me. This is somebody else might need this. And those are the ones.
Do you
that
guys
usually end
all
up-
write lyrics, or does he finish the lyrics and you guys do the music?
Historically, it's been mainly that.
Yeah.
But we're slowly trying to incorporate more other stuff. See
Nice.
how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, the co-writing thing is something we've always wanted to do, and
Yeah.
we just haven't got there yet. But we want.
It's a different. It's so I find it to be easier, but when I have my own song, then I find it to be harder.
Yeah.
And it's not even because I'm not listening to my song for goodness anymore. I'm like, oh, that was a cool idea I've never done. I want to keep that in. When in reality, it wasn't good. or whatever, but I'm like stuck in my own head about it. I'm like, oh, this is how my song, in
Right,
that
yeah.
regard, I struggle. But if we come at it like, let's jam, here's a riff, now I'm gonna sing some stuff over the top, or the vocalist, whoever it is. I kind of prefer to not be the vocalist, even though I've spent the last 10 years trying to sing. But that's because if you sing, you get paid. That's really it. I mean, I play instrumental gigs, and they're always like, oh, why didn't you sing? I'm like, damn. I was trying to hide that I could sing because I don't know. It's like stressful to sing every day to strangers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely
Singing is harder than just singing.
Yeah.
Even though just singing is hard.
Because you're entertaining,
Yeah.
you're performing, you're not
Yeah.
just singing a song. You're putting something out there and trying to connect, and that's hard. So-
Do you guys write songs on your own? Anybody else write lyrics?
Yeah.
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 That's
I
cool.
think we're all kind of working on
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah,
That's
we
tight.
always, even like, I don't know, a few months ago, Dave and I both were like, hey, we got some song ideas. And Dave started playing his song. And I was like, holy cow. And I'd pull out mine on the same key, same chord. I mean, we were like
that's
writing the
hilarious.
same song from two completely different.
Do you remember what chord it was? What key?
It's a B minor.
I was gonna
The
say B
saddest
minor.
of all
I swear to
keys.
God, I should have said it first. I
Yeah.
should have said it first. Was it B minor?
It was
What I
B
said.
minor.
My love pump.
Holy shit! Holy
Just
shit!
something
I
about
should.
the way that feels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
B
some-
minors. I would have wrote it too.
Yeah.
B
Yeah.
minor's a great key on
Oh.
guitar, piano, probably. Yeah.
The saddest of all keys.
Yes.
Dude, yeah.
Until the next sad key. Right?
Yeah, right.
D minor.
D minor.
Lost my train of thought as well. But
I forgot where we were as well.
we'll cut it out for pacing. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's all good.
We'll think of a good new topic here to transfer to. Or well, we're talking about songwriting. How many songs you guys have? You could play original music.
Mm-hmm.
So you play like one cover a night, or 0 to 1, or 0 to.
Just depends on the
Really
length of the
depends.
gig. I mean, if
what,
we're playing
what kind of
a-
covers? What songs? Do you
Yeah,
have
well,
do you have a
it's-
ton of
we-
covers you can do?
Oh, yeah, we do. I mean,
There is,
awesome.
yeah.
we cover one of the things that I think we really, I don't know if you say we pride ourselves in, but something that we really strive for is to not be very boring.
Sure.
Sure, that's
I don't know
a
if
good
it's
word.
a word.
We
I don't know
always
if
want to not be boring.
Yeah,
Like before the gig, she's like 3.
Yeah.
Don't be boring.
Yeah, right. That's our. No, I mean we play everything from old school country and old school rock and roll to rockabilly to newer stuff. I mean, there's some genres we don't really dabble into. You know, a lot of like the pop Nashville country stuff. We
Yeah.
steer very clear of that.
Yeah.
Although we call ourselves a country rock band, we don't.
Yeah,
if it's
people are gonna be like, you play country, and you're like,
If
if it's
it's
1564 over
yeah,
and
if
over.
it's out of Nashville, we're probably not playing it. But a Texas
Yeah.
country, red dirt kind of country is
Hell yeah.
more our style.
What kind of stuff would that be considered? Like what kind of singers, artists, bands?
Well, we just
Well-
booked a gig with Cody Canada, from Cross Canadian Ragweed.
Okay, I'm not familiar.
Check him
Cody Canada from
Yeah.
Texas, though.
out. Yeah, and I mean some of the Texas bands like William Clark Green, Turnpike Troubadours, Co-Wetzel,
Co-Wetzel,
yeah,
Huh, okay,
Whiskey
cool.
Myers, that kind of.
Oh,
And there's
yeah,
some
yeah,
Idaho
yeah.
bands that are like Reckless Kelly is an Idaho band that
I've heard of that.
they're from Texas now, but they're an Idaho band. It's very similar style. Idaho kind of has its own unique.
Yeah, tell me about Idaho.
Yeah,
Idaho
I mean,
sound.
it's-
I don't know any tropes or cliches even. All right, you tell me about it while I actually change my cable.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, really, it's I don't know, just a different sound. We call ourselves rock and roll, but I lived in New Zealand for a while, and we were a country because I was from,
Yep.
so
America?
yeah, American. And they're always like, "Where's your hat and boots?"
Yeah.
But so we've kind of drifted into that. Not really. There's not really a genre designation for it. So
It's
we
kinda
play
like-
everything.
It's kind of like how Americana is that catch-all for
Yeah.
good vibes.
I've had people say I'm Americana, and I'm like, really? Cool.
Yeah.
It
And,
seems racist for some reason nowadays.
yeah.
I'm Americana.
Oh no.
No.
You must be a Trump supporter.
Yeah, no.
No, it's just that's been the best way for us to try to book. That way it's because if I say, oh yeah, we're a country band, and then they don't hear that we sound like Jason Aldean, they're like, oh.
Yeah, and we don't. But yeah, I mean, so as far as covers go, you heard of like the Revivalists. I mean, we play everything. When we had our sax player, we were playing a lot of Revivalist kind of tunes, which is cool. I mean, everything from Tom Petty to Johnny Cash
Hell yeah.
to Fits in the Tantrums.
Sounds like
you know?
we play kind of similar stuff, at least in the country. I mean, I like doing all the old Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard. I'd like to do.
Yeah,
I always get one guy in the back that went nice. Same, I'll do like an Alice in Chains song because in Seattle you're bound to get one guy come up and throw a 20 in just for that one song. Right. It's like no one else wants to hear Nutshell, but one guy's like, woo!
Yeah.
It's always Beast Lane Staley!
That's the
But I would do Alice in Chains all night if I could anyway. So
yeah,
again, it's being true to yourself. Whatever is enjoyable for you, even if no one else is enjoying it, they're gonna see that you like it, and they're not gonna be like, boo. It's just like, oh, it's not my thing, but it's good.
Yeah. I mean, good music is good music, and we can all appreciate that. I mean, we all have a really different background musically. I mean, I grew up listening to Megadeth and Manowar and the Carpenters and the Beach Boys, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just everything in between. And so, I mean, I love Alabama. My first record I ever owned. We got to do that one.
Okay, yeah.
What was your first record, Dave?
John Denver's Greatest Hits.
John Denver.
What a solid first album.
Nice.
Dude, my first album was Toxicity.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
System of a
14.
Down. Nice.
Yeah. That's a crazy
Very
first
cool.
album.
Yeah, that is.
It's like, I listen to it all the time and just like, wow.
Yeah.
What a weird sound.
That's,
what a unique sound.
Yeah.
Like John Denver, there's stuff you can learn in there that translates to other genres.
Sure.
Toxicity, I don't even know what the hell the guitar is doing. It's like, it sounds like a drum.
Yeah.
But I love it. Anyway.
Yeah, that's great.
So John Denver, Alabama?
We haven't got there yet. No,
Oh,
I'm
no,
waiting.
no.
Jared, what's yours?
Tower of Power, Soul Vaccination Live.
Nice.
So far, we got totally different genres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Morgan, what do you got?
Mine was No Doubt. Tragic Kingdom.
I love that. Dude, don't sleep on No Doubt.
Don't leave a message and I'll call you
I love that sound.
Yeah, no,
that's
that's
also
awesome.
a completely different genre.
Yeah, no, my first one was Heart.
Pretty good.
The Wilson Girls.
There's
Yep.
the classic rock.
Right.
Yep, that's
We all started with different shit, but we all listen to probably the
Yeah.
same stuff now. Like all of that, we all listen to now.
Oh yeah, it's all
Sure.
good. I mean, good music is good music, though.
Hell yeah. I got Bad Company on the wall. I don't know why I just picked Bad Company. I'm going to try to do a different one for every band.
That's awesome.
But I was like, Bad Company, what a cool album. It's nothing. The cover, it's just their name, but it's so iconic. So
Yes, it is.
By
good
Bad
stuff.
Company.
Bad Company by Bad,
Bad
Company.
Company.
Do you guys do that
Song
one?
Bad Company.
No,
Yeah. No.
Oh, Feel Like Making Love?
you do. No,
I mean,
Monday morning, but
I didn't know this
Yeah.
was that kind of podcast.
it was at the bottom of the email. I
You didn't read the fine print. No.
yeah, I was like, bring headphones, we have a dog, and no.
Don't worry about the condoms. We have a communal one.
Right, we have communal condoms and earplugs.
Except for me.
It's too loud. Dude.
Oh, geez. Yeah, no, that was a. So yeah, I mean, you can see we got a huge variety of background,
Right,
And
right.
I think that comes out in our live show too. So yeah, we play our original music. I mean, we got a reggae tune. We've got
Oh,
some
right, because your
ballads.
originals could be those genres.
Yeah, and so really, I mean, we call ourselves that alt country, Americana, Texas, red dirt, because that's where we feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But we've opened. I mean, I've played with Shinedown. I've played with, SmashMouth. We played with
Daughtry.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Those are all really big.
yeah.
names.
We played with some big, but it's all over the map as far as the genres that we played with, and we still
Right.
we're working on opening. Are we allowed to say that, Jared?
We're working on opening for Incubus.
Dude,
so-
their
that's
show.
tight. I
And so
love
we-
that. Love.
Yeah, we can do that. We can play because our music is so versatile, I guess you could say. You know, it fits a lot of
Right,
multi-genres. And
Sounds.
the last record I did before this current one that's coming out, I did in New Orleans. And I went down there with guys like, hey, I want to really hone in and define our sound,
Yeah.
which was cool. I mean, we brought down studio musician, a drummer from Nashville, and, you know, the guitar player was a guitar player for Mark Brassard, and bass
Dude.
player for Trombone Shorty, you know. I mean, all these heavy-hitting musicians
That's legit.
to record this record, and they get in there and it's like, oh, we haven't heard anything like this before. This doesn't sound like the music we play.
Right.
And it didn't help at all, because we went from a ballad to a country tune in 6/8 time to a
What do you
kind of
want?
almost a Christian rock sound. I mean, it didn't help the genre at all, where it's like,
Yeah,
gosh
yeah.
dang, guys.
He was write songs. It happens. If you just
Right, yeah.
write good songs, right?
And that's really what we go for with our live show as well.
Yeah.
Is we want to, as far as song selection, set list, fill the crowd out. Our feelings come into it too. You know, we play music for us too.
Yeah.
But it's for people. So.
Well, and it can coincide. Like one of our songs, they wrote while they were in Texas and being stuck in traffic. And the idea that, the GPS says you'll get there at one point, but you're like, I know I can beat that.
Yeah.
That's universal.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
It's kind of a barn burner country tune, you know.
Right,
but it's a.
So you're picking it on the guitar.
Well, I'm not. I'm singing. I don't pick and sing well.
But if you're barn burning, somebody's picking it.
Yeah, well, we have.
Must be this guy. Look over here.
Yeah, the piano
he's
is
honky tonking or whatever his term is for it.
Yeah,
He's
and
plinking. I don't know.
That's tight, dude.
And so that's kind of it. Yeah, I mean, that every song's got a story. That was a great one. We were actually driving to Waco, Texas, to play a show, and we just left another town, and we'd had a kind of a campfire night after the show with a bunch of friends out at their lake cabin, and we were talking about the GPS thing. You know, as soon as you think you're making headway on the GPS, you hit freaking road construction. It's just red taillights as far as you can see. And so we were, trying to find all these back roads to get.
Well, yeah, because you can lose time so much easier than gaining time.
Oh yeah,
it takes so long to gain 1 minute.
Yeah, and
That's
so the
so
song was all just like all about you become a semi-pro driver as soon as you get behind the wheel.
What's the name of that song?
It's called I-35.
Tight.
Yeah. So
it'll come out. It's coming out on our album this last March.
This last March.
A while ago when it was supposed to be done. Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe we'll play that one today for
But
you.
you can hear it tonight.
That'll be tight.
You can hear
Hell
it
yeah.
tonight if you're,
Would
if you're
love
on
to.
edge on it.
Yeah.
Wanted to hear it.
So and we go from that to songs like Certainties. It's our kind of our hit, I guess you could say right now on Spotify. We got like 115,000 streams on it right now. We just got up there, and and it's kind of one of these ones I wrote really for my kids. About the whole you don't realize what you're missing until it's gone, and someday if you aren't appreciating what you have right now, you're gonna miss it because you'll be like, man,
it's so easy to forget.
And people always say with your kids, Morgan, you hear it all the time. Oh, you gotta love them while they're young because they grow up so fast. But it's true. Like time flies by, and if you're not paying attention and appreciating it, you're always thinking there's something better down the road. If I can just get through this crazy month of work, it's gonna get better. And it never does. You gotta stop looking forward and start appreciating now.
Absolutely. And that's Certainties.
Yeah,
that's the name of that. Check that song out because that sounds dope.
Yeah, so hopefully songs like that, like I said, that we were talking earlier, the ones that hit the light of day are the ones that we really feel like are the ones that maybe everyone can appreciate and relate to.
Yeah. That's dope, man. I wanted to go through all four of you guys and get a day in the life, whether it's a gig day or just a normal day, because some of y'all have day jobs, some of y'all don't. Why don't we start with Dave over here? Is it Dave or David?
Yep.
Super Dave. Or
Super Dave.
Gangsta Dave today.
David, you take us up. Start us up.
A day in my life?
Pick a random day. Nothing crazy.
My day job is I am ops manager for a whole bunch of radio stations in the town I live in. So I get to do anything from paying an electric bill to going up on a mountain and working on a transmitter or programming music or...
And it's for radio stations?
For radio station
group. But you don't
group.
Use that radio voice.
I'm behind the scenes guy.
He has one.
He has a radio voice. Listen to that.
That's what I'm saying. It's a beautiful radio voice, but it's
say something.
Introduce us, David.
Introduce the podcast.
It's the
give us an intro.
Band.
Yeah, it's a really good voice. It's like I'm behind the scenes.
Yeah, so that's the.
He's got a radio face.
That's
too.
5 days a week.
That's 5 days a week.
Radio face.
I've been, and then all I want to do is play keyboards and play music. Or I've raised 2 girls. They're both opera singers. I have my oldest daughter's won some awards from the Metropolitan Opera.
That's legit.
And has gone to Italy to do opera. So
holy cow.
So yeah, there's music everywhere. My dad was a music teacher, so I grew up in music.
That's cool.
But I like playing keys, and I find anywhere I can to play.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
And since I've been working in the radio for so many years, I pretty much can set my own schedule, so I can take off and go do these kinds of things. So
How long you been there?
I just started my 20th year with the radio station.
Nice.
So when we've gone to work with Carnival on the cruise ship, I just was able to take us like a sabbatical from work. And
that's amazing.
So,
that was always my fear of having a job, was that commitment. It's like you don't always get to just leave.
Well, I tried to quit, but my boss says, why don't we just call it?
You're in so deep now that he'll figure it out.
He's like, I'm going to want you back when you come back. So
yeah. That is cool, though.
But yeah, so I like playing the piano and just finding ways, and just been inspired.
Do you do any other bands?
I have like they're called the Eclectics, so you can imagine what kind of music they do.
I can't actually. It's too
so
eclectic.
Anywhere from old country to rockabilly to punk to, but my favorite. I always say that I probably was born in the wrong time. I really like rockabilly music, so I like Jerry Lee Lewis. So, but what do you think, Aaron? You think I'm like a combination of Elton John or Billy Joel and Jerry Lee Lewis, and something like that? And
great. And with the Eclectics, you sing?
I do.
Nice.
They trade off.
But it's more like I have my voice, because of my voice, I have a certain kind of style.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not the pop singer. I just don't have the range for that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of pigeonholed into certain styles of singing. So if we do a cover,
a lot of bass singers have that.
So if we do a cover, if we're doing a Johnny Cash cover, guess who gets to sing it?
Yep.
So
totally,
yeah,
totally
and but yeah, I'm just like.
So you're looking to do full-time piano, though. You got the 20 years at the other place, but you're looking
I'm
to get out of there.
I'm always ready to find a way to.
Hell yeah.
Just play music. I mean, and I've
Is Paul listening right now?
I don't know if my boss is listening.
At least you told the truth.
He knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
it seems like he knows.
Because if I say, hey, I got to leave at noon today because I got to got a gig this weekend. He never says, because he knows this is what I love to do, and he's like, well, if I want to keep this guy around work for me, I got to let him do what he loves.
Exactly. So it's great. That's cool that you have that.
That's a good relationship I have there.
It's part of what makes you, though, too. And I think it's really cool when you work with somebody that can see that what makes you good at what you do on the side is who you are.
Yeah.
And music is who you are.
At work, if I get to do those.
Yes. Well, it's always good to have a push-pull, too.
Yeah.
To get you excited to play keys,
So, you have to figure out when you have a mortgage, you have to figure out how to pay the mortgage.
And that's good.
Still get to do the other parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's good advice we have a lot of viewers that are like 18 to 24. And if you're a musician and you want to play, that's a really good angle to take. Is find a job that is, maybe it's not your favorite thing in the world to do, but good people are there who will treat you with respect and give you the time to play music. Because I've witnessed. I was at Guitar Center and they almost mandate it, like you have to allow your employees to take tours. So it was like that's the only reason I worked that job is because I felt that freedom, and the boss was like, "You should go. You should quit."
Right.
Like in our case, it was Guitar Center, so it was like you should get out of here. That was 10 years ago, and it doesn't seem like they've gone along. They haven't gone up in 10 years, have they? I think it's only been down, but I don't know for sure.
But when, so music has taken me all over the world. So
sounds.
So I've been to Japan because of music. I've been to New Zealand because of music. I've been to it's just taken me everywhere. So I don't want to give up.
You went with Aaron Ball Band. You went.
Aaron and I. Yep, we toured New Zealand and Japan.
I'm so excited to edit this later and re-listen to all those bands you guys said you played with. I'm going to put their album covers up when you say the name and really fucking...
But, and I've got to do other travel lots of the world just doing music.
Yeah.
Even before Aaron and I hooked up playing music, I was able to do a lot of traveling.
Really? That's
because of music, so...
Right on.
So I wouldn't trade it for anything,
Perfect. Let's go down the line then.
All right.
Just a day in the life. Yeah, like pick any day. We can do a normal day and then a gig day and just see what it's like.
Yeah. So my day job right now is that I
He teaches
Shut
driver's
up,
ed to disabled people.
Already start laughing.
There's stories
Seems like
here.
a good job. Seems like a needed.
It isn't needed. How did that work out for you, Jared?
oh man.
Yeah, Jared, don't just look this direction while you're talking.
I'm not looking.
I'm sorry that microphone's janked too.
That's all right. Just
It's not
look
perfect, but
over
you're
here.
working it well.
I'm not
Go
gonna
ahead.
look at Aaron.
Go ahead.
He's used to playing the drums and singing. He's good with that.
Oh yeah,
He does.
Yeah, I gotta lean.
that's
my neck.
totally a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my current day job, Aaron.
Just
Do
thinking
you
about
wanna
that
say it
poor.
for me?
I'm just thinking about that poor sign.
I am a behavioral interventionist with kids
Mm-hmm.
that they have some kind of developmental disability, and so that can look like autism, that can look like Down syndrome, that can look like other just things, and it's basically, and I know why they laugh is because I teach them how to be an appropriate member of society. I can keep it together for a 7-hour shift, okay?
So, I see. So the joke is they're laughing at the fact that you are teaching people how to be upstanding citizens.
And not just any people, but handicapped people, yes.
There's a lot of layers.
There's a lot of
Yes.
layers there.
It's quite
Okay,
an onion.
then let's run me through a little piece of that because I still am like, what's he do?
Well, during the school year, I usually work in a school with one child in the classroom, but I kind of become the behavior police.
Yeah.
So, like, and I have a card that, like, a certification that makes it so that I can restrain
Oh, good.
and not have legal problems.
Good. That's good. That's probably helpful.
Yeah. So it's like,
I'd
all
be
right,
so
little
scared
buddy,
to get in trouble.
You're
Yeah.
getting a little mad. Time for a mandatory hug.
Yeah. Yeah.
A bear hug, literally.
Big old mandatory hug.
Damn, dude. So that's not just a side gig. This is like a full on. I mean, for some people, career path.
It is a career path for most people, but just like Dave, that's a very small part of what I do, because outside of that and outside of the Aaron Ball Band, well, I also, for the Aaron Ball Band, I do a lot of things behind the scenes to try to make things happen. But then I teach music lessons. I teach piano, drums, and music theory to kids and private lessons. And do other gigs. I get hired for one-offs with different bands or artists. Or there's 2 recording studios in our area that I go to and record for people's albums on a frequent basis. So,
dude, shout out to any drummers out there listening. Drummers is a job or an instrument that gets hired out a lot.
it's true. You know, I played a gig on the 4th of July with a bunch of orchestral people, and there's always this connotation that drummers are kind of not, real musicians.
They're the guys that hang out with musicians.
Yeah, they're like cavemen. Dum dum dum. I hit the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I look at those people. I'm like, that's fine. I get a lot more money and playtime than you ever do.
Exactly. And you're gonna need to hire me. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Us guitar players who make fun of bass players and drummers, it's also the guys we pay the most. So note that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, and there's just so much you can do. So, like, for people that are in the business or trying to get into it, I'm like, it's going to be hard to make money at just playing an instrument. There's a lot more behind it, like booking gigs, and having those administrative skills to be able to make yourself multifaceted. That's where people get hired.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. A lot of just being in bands, talking to guys like this. I do this all the time. What do you guys do? Just not even on the podcast. And I know guys that do sound for huge bands, and I'm like, dope. And they're also still doing side gigs like with me. It's like we're still just playing the Sumner Rhubarb Days, festival, but he's also doing sound, and that's his thing, is sound. So I realized, we're the side gig for him. It's like there's so many different routes you can take. It's not just about playing your instrument. But
It's true.
And
they
teaching
all-
is always the one you can do.
Yeah, and they all work together. They all make you a more well-rounded and
Absolutely. Especially teaching.
Oh yeah.
You teach all day long, you get to the basics of stuff.
Yeah, I love teaching.
That's
great.
great.
I wouldn't want to teach, in a public setting where
Yeah.
I have to wear a tie and behave myself all the time.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for some of us.
It didn't work out for you, for sure.
Yeah, that'd be tough. I always figured I could do school teacher if I could be like the Jack Black type. Because, again, I love hanging out with kids and playing with kids. And I immediately go into kid mode. Like, if they start, let's do a game where, I'm in. Whatever the rules are, I'm in. And I'm questioning them. I'm yes-anding the kids. I'm, like, making them. Yeah, I love it. So I think I could do it, but I haven't tried.
I don't know. I enjoy working with kids, but also,
you're in the school setting right now.
Yeah, and they make me like an adult in charge, and it's funny how some of the kids are like, "Well, he's in charge."
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, "What does that mean?"
Yeah. Do you see this beard?
Yeah.
That should.
Well, I had long hair too,
Oh,
but
that
I had to
should
cut it
really-
off because I scared people.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be scary, which is what you'd need maybe in that job.
It did work. Yeah,
It did work.
I have to use my dad voice sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's like a bark.
Yeah,
That dad. Yeah,
it's louder and
I don't want to do it. Yeah, I'm too scared.
yeah, I don't want to scare people.
Yeah, there's
PTSD.
people listening. Yeah,
You wouldn't like him when he's
Dog stuff.
angry.
We're not going to do that. It's ASMR time.
Oh God, this wouldn't be the first on this podcast. I think episode 6 we did a whole ASMR bit. It was skippable. It was very
Oh my
skippable.
gosh.
So gig day, you're not working probably.
I don't know. Sometimes I do.
You got to do double downs.
Yeah, so I'm a workaholic, so I
cool,
pack it in. So I can do a full day of work and then go do a gig. And then if the studio's open and they want, I'll go record.
How? What do you eat? What do you drink? Do you have superpowers?
Well, I just...
A lot of monsters.
A lot of monsters and a lot of people that told me I couldn't.
Oh yeah. Fueled
you
by hate.
go.
Fueled by spite. Yes.
In spite of them.
That's actually really that'll fuel you. It's like Monster, but cheaper.
In a positive way. It's more just...
Motivation.
Yeah, and I want to do what I want to do, but I also need to figure out how to make it work. So yeah, gigs, it depends, like I live far enough away from Aaron that like on the first day of tour I just stayed at his place because
Actually, that's a good point. You guys aren't doing... So this is even different than I'm thinking, which my gig stuff is I live at home, I do gigs from home, but you guys only get together when it's tour time. Tim Allen in tour time, and you guys go on the road for 10 gigs and then don't see each other for months at a time, probably.
Well,
not lately. Lately,
You been getting it?
We've been booking quite a bit.
How do you end up booking? It's got to be hard to book a tour, no?
it's a lot of work. Yeah.
It's hard.
Because it's like booking one gig 10 times, exponentially though.
Yeah.
Because they have to be lined up.
Well, not only that, but there are just some days that just are cursed.
You mean like during the day you're trying to set up and
Weekdays,
stuff?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to have fun during the week. That's fine. They can be like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
It is like that. But
I know they do in Tacoma tonight on Monday. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you guys.
Tacoma gets down, I bet.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
They-
Tacoma,
they
how many
will.
times you played Tacoma?
This is my first time here.
Oh, right on.
I used to play here a lot.
I was going to say, it's a place. It's
Yeah,
a place people go.
I've been friends with Levi Lyon for years and years.
Oh, right
so
on.
we have stories about
Stories.
legends, if you will, about Levi's play. Yeah,
All right,
so
go. We'll get there here in a second. Once
Yeah, I don't know if-
Finish up with
yeah.
Jared's day. Oh, we
Yeah.
won't get there. Maybe we won't.
Maybe we better not.
Way
Maybe,
exciting,
yeah.
though. I don't know.
Yeah. Leave them hanging. We'll tell you guys at the very end of the podcast.
Tell you tonight at the show.
We'll tell you, go to the show
Yeah.
tonight. This episode comes out probably in 2 days, though.
Oh,
So-
well,
Well,
tell you 2 nights ago
sucks
at
to
the
be
show.
you
Yeah.
guys.
How was it?
You should have
The
missed
show
it.
was great. You guys
show
loved
was
it.
great.
That would be the cool thing about live. It'd be way easier to see. Even just planning a podcast is hard. I'm like,
Oh,
can't
yeah.
imagine the tour, 10 days in a row of. Do you get like? That's a tangent. Tell me about a day. Here, I got a new way to phrase it. Tell me about a day on tour that goes wrong. Because there has to be at least one per tour, or no?
Yeah.
No matter how good you get, there's always a million variables. Like a person doesn't show up to do sound or something, or like something could happen outside of your control.
Like the tire blowing off the trailer, and
that's a common one. I
Freeways
bet.
getting shut down because of the fires.
And you pull in, and there's no one to fix the tire, so we fix it ourselves because they all get called out to a fire because they're all volunteer fire people.
Wait, and you use their tools?
We just went in and used their tools and fixed our own tires.
Dude, this is the stuff you have to learn. Multifaceted musicians here, and not just genre and music based, but life skills.
Yep.
When you gotta surround yourself with the right people. I remember my first time playing in Las Vegas. The bass player in that band, he liked to try different substances, and he was like, I found something cool I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Right before the gig. And he didn't play for the first 4 songs.
Dude.
Oh, he was playing in his head.
I was
Yeah.
He just looked like he pissed himself and just
What instrument was he playing?
bass.
I didn't even just standing there.
Yeah, I chewed him out after. I'm like, man,
That's crazy.
you don't have to be sober, but you have to, you know, you
We're
don't
not
have
even asking that much.
Yeah.
You can be drunk. Just do something that you know how to play on.
exactly. Wait till after the show to make
To try
your-
new stuff.
Yeah, until
Holy
you're
shit.
yeah.
What was it?
Hmm?
What substance was it that made him freeze for 4 songs?
You know, I want to say it was like a really strong marijuana.
Yeah, that can do it. I've seen it. The guy, my roommate, best friend, homeowner of this house here, I seen him go places, dude. He hit one of them vapes. It's not like the one I have here, not the little pen one. It's like one that looks like a nicotine vape or whatever, but he smoked weed out of it. Like a 20-second inhale, and just like. And we were on a father-son golfing trip, so it was me, him, his dad, my dad, and all 4 of us are smoking, and he's just sitting there. We're like 25 years old, and he was gone for like probably like 2 minutes, and we started getting worried around 30 seconds. Like, he's like frozen right now. What the fuck? And then like, we're like, dude, what the fuck? He goes, I was gone 80 years or whatever. He gave us the whole spiel, like he's been gone for so long. I'm like, shut the fuck
That's
up.
fun.
Yeah, dude. So your bass player,
Yeah.
4 songs was really 8 years of songs.
He had a hard time with substance abuse too, because like that same band, we were going to go play in Anaheim for NAMM.
Cool.
And I wasn't feeling good the day before. Like, I think I had like a stomach ache, and I went to the doctor. And the doctor, I don't know what, he was a cool ass doctor, man, because he was like, "Oh, your stomach hurts. Here's 50. What are they?"
Why did you look at me?
You're to my left, and I'm looking right here.
Because Dave has a bellyache all the time.
Oh, that's funny.
What?
It's like, what are they? You know the substances.
I don't.
You're the local pharmacist.
Like
You tell me.
The painkillers, the really extreme painkillers.
hydrocodone?
You want a hydro or oxy?
Like, it was
Dave.
Oxycontin.
Oh, he gave you some real shit.
And I'm like, is this going to help my stomach? He's like, it's going to help everything. So I took it, and then I get onto the tour van. We get to Las Vegas on the way to Anaheim, and I kind of come to my senses. I'm like, oh, my clothes are back in Idaho. My whole bag. Got my sticks, though.
Oh, good.
But then
And you got the clothes on your back.
But then they disappeared.
The
next
sticks?
day. No.
Oh.
No, my hydros.
Oh.
Oh. Well,
And
that's
I'm
not
like,
good.
I'm like, I look at the bass player. I'm like, hey, did you take them? He's like, no. Then he told me like 2 years later, yeah.
He did. And here's more Morgan steps in.
That's
No,
why
I know,
we
that's
have
a different
Morgan.
tune.
He's a family guy.
Yeah, he's not going to steal. He'll bring his own oxys. He's not going to steal anybody's. He's got his own prescription.
Morgan's such a sweetheart. He'll probably bring enough for everybody.
Share.
He's so wholesome. He'll bring all the drugs.
His
for
little,
everyone.
little Snoopy lunchbox opens up.
Well, shit, dude. Let's pass it down to.
It was a He-Man lunchbox.
He-Man. Not G.I. Joe,
metal
huh?
lunchbox. That's what I had.
So get that shit right, dude. He-Man's boss.
I couldn't even... I had to wrap mine up in a piece of cloth, carry it on a stick. Oh.
Yeah, let's move it to a day in the life of Aaron Ball himself.
Gosh. Yeah. Well.
Before we end on a sweet
yeah, we'll end with
note.
Morgan. It'd be nice to get
something wholesome.
You know, I it just really depends on day. I'm a lot like, I mean, I do a lot of odd stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
For quite a few years, I was a school teacher.
Right on. How many years?
A lot. About 15 years.
Damn,
so,
son.
and then I worked for a Caterpillar,
really?
the heavy equipment as
Yeah,
well
yeah,
as
yeah.
an instructor.
So those are completely different
yeah.
ends.
Well, I worked as I was a shop teacher, so I taught like.
I thought you were going to say I taught kids how to use the Caterpillars.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so your shop.
I
That's
shot
dope.
like repair, like automotive and
That's
diesel
cool.
repair and
So
stuff.
you got real life skills. You know stuff.
I had to get a day job, and you know, I raised my kids by myself for quite a few years, and so
How many kids do you have?
I've got 2.
Okay.
And so, you know, having a job like that allowed me weekends off every weekend to go play music, summers off,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and a
Sure.
schedule that was real compatible with my kids. And
Yeah.
So, so yeah, it was a good gig for a lot of years, but I'm no longer doing that.
How'd you get out of 15 years of being at school? That seems like it would be hard to get out.
Oh, it was
like they'll
it
start
was
offering
easy.
you stuff. And
It was
whatnot.
easy to get out, actually.
Yeah?
really easy. No, I mean, I'm like Jared. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy kids, but my heart is really somewhere else.
Absolutely.
And so it's cool still. I mean, we played a gig in Oregon last weekend, and I had 2 of the kids that I taught in school. You know, they're
wow.
not kids anymore. They got kids of their own, you know, but they come to our show and hang out, and it's cool, you know. So there's definitely that. But they came out because they knew this is what I do. This is who I was even when I taught
Of
school.
course.
That was my
Of
day
course.
job, but who I am is not what I do, you know.
Mhm.
And so I think that's most people, though.
Yeah.
I think some people get so ingrained in their work that they
Yeah.
lose who they really are, and sometimes I think we're all guilty of that. But
Absolutely. I fall in and out of that just with music. Like, I am guitar. Taylor guitar. Well, no, you like video games too. Whatever.
Right,
Like, I like
yeah.
to go to the beach. Like, I
Yeah.
like other stuff.
And-
And I can get wrapped up definitely in work pretty easily. But yeah.
yeah, and I think we're all of us are workers. We all work. We all
Yeah.
work really hard, and
Yeah.
we do a lot of things. Even now, I mean, I do a lot of odd jobs just to pay bills.
Yeah, so like before the tour, what was the day? Well, like a Wednesday or something. Like when do you
mean,
get up? How early?
I usually
4:45. Do a
I'm
cold
usu-
plunge.
I'm usually up pretty early.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up on working on a
Yeah,
farm. You know,
good
Morgan
point.
and I both grew up farm kids. You know, so
Yeah.
so we fix whatever and
That's
work on
cool.
whatever. And so I've got horses. I've got animals. I've got
Getting up early just
so-
helps everything. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Sure.
like to get up early, but I like
no.
to be up once
Yeah,
you're up.
once you're
you
up,
know.
of course.
So I usually get up pretty early. But yeah, I mean, I've got a shop at my house, so I still fix stuff, and I'm doing some odd jobs, helping guys build house or whatever. You know,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it takes to make a little money, so I can afford to be me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Um,
And
so
so the
that's
the
normal.
odd jobs again is so much easier because the teaching job you don't have as much freedom.
Well, and I was a school teacher when we worked on a Carnival ship. I just told them
Oh,
I'm not coming
wow.
in till like November. I'm gonna be gone.
So they got subs. To
yeah, they
do?
just yep.
How'd that conversation go? Were you nervous?
You know, it was actually really good. The guy I worked for, my boss at the time, they understood. I was just like,
That's great.
you guys hired me. This is who I am.
Yeah.
This is what makes me good when I'm here,
Yeah.
is that I have a life that's not here. And I always found that with teachers, they're like, the teachers are really proud of being teachers, and
They're
that's
even
their
more
life.
teachery than I am guitar.
Yeah, right.
They're really teachery.
and that's not all of them, but there's a lot of people that
Because
defines them.
There's humans involved, so you're really attached to it.
Right, yeah, and
You
that
have to be
defines
that
them.
committed to be paid so little.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's the same as music, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Except for you, I don't know, in different ways.
Yeah, it is. But I was never that person. I was never afraid of that. I don't really need this job. I'll go do something else.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. A lot of
this
people are
job is not
afraid,
who I
man.
am.
Yeah.
And
A lot of people are afraid they do jobs that are not who they are, but they're afraid to leave them.
right, and I just figure I can get another job. It's a job.
Right.
But-
Right.
Which is
You have skills and you
I-
get up early. Those are good.
Yeah.
Those are two things that'll help you
But-
get shit done. Man.
But even like we got a song called "This Road," which was written about a conversation of a family member of mine had with my father, which is basically, when are you gonna get your kid, when is he going to get his head on straight and quit trying to be a musician? What a waste of time, you know. He could go do all these things. He has all these skills. Why is he waste all his time and money trying to play music? How stupid is that, you know? And we get that all the time, like, but that's what makes creative people tick, I think, is being able to be creative.
Mm-hmm. There's so many fun projects that seemed like impossible things as a kid, and now you're living the life and doing the thing. You made albums, dude. Remember how the first time you thought about making an album as a kid? Oh, and then there'd be 2 ballads, 10 songs, and then this one would be this, and then when you start learning, you're like, oh, this is impossible. And then now you're looking at it and you're like, holy shit, I've done all those things that most people want to do and never do. And that helps you sleep at night, I imagine.
Yeah, well, there's something to be said for that. I mean, you can be successful and not be a rock star.
Absolutely.
And that's
might
really
be better.
Yeah,
the older I get, the more I see it might be better. Because then they're on contracts. Now they don't have freedom.
Right.
You have to tour when they say 9 months, go.
Yep.
Or whatever, 3 months, even still. Like, you guys are doing 10 months and spending time with your family. You're raising opera singers and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the way to do it, man. I think you guys...
Yeah, there's something to be said. I mean, I joke about, there's actually a book. It's about a band called Watershed. I don't know if you've ever read it. It's called Rock and Roll, Life in the Minor League Rock and Roll or something. So when I say that, I stole it from a book. But the band, you have to check it out. A band called Watershed. Dope. They were big, like, back in the 90s, like... Ben Harper was opening for them. Mm-hmm. Sixpence None the Richer. Some of those bands were their opening acts. They got signed to a label, and then it all just died. And so if you're a musician, you've toured. Like, it's a great book. It's what is it called now? I've just lost the title. Anyway, it's about the band Watershed. If you Google it, you'll find it. But it's a great book written by I think he's a bass player who's like I think he's like an English professor up here in Washington.
Yeah, bass players would write books.
Yeah. He's a really smart guy. But anyway, just really cool, you know, that all the stories of touring and who's driving and how the van gets packed and all that stuff that if you're a touring musician, you totally relate to it. But it really talks about, you know, that whole thing of being a musician, but having to live your life too, and all the other things of being minor league,
absolutely,
you know, minors. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, sometimes we get a little frustrated and down with where we're at with things, but then we start looking at what we've accomplished. I mean, we've played in the 1 year, I think Dave and I played in like 14 countries in a 6-month time span. You know, I mean, I've toured all over the world. I don't even call them fans. We have friends all over, you know, because it's about people and connections. So when we go somewhere, we go hang out with our friends and stay at their cabins up in the mountains, and they cook dinner for us. And the VP of Boeing made Dave and I breakfast one time. You know, we're staying at his house in Park City, Utah. And like crazy. So it's
cool
really
stories.
Yeah, I mean,
and you can never predict those things.
No, like what you're gonna see and feel and find, you just never know. I mean, and so that's what makes this job so rewarding in another way, and you know, reaching people. So cool. Anyway,
well, no, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Yeah. But now let's pass it over. Why don't you tell us about the current book that you're writing? And just kidding. That's my last bass player joke. I felt
you know, what do you call it? Hey, how many bass players does it take to screw in a light bulb?
2 bass players walk into a bar.
None. The keyboard player does it with his left hand.
My kids do swim lessons in the morning, so my wife gets up early. They go to swim lessons. I stay home with the baby and snuggle with her, and she wakes up and is all happy. And so you know, you're just like that's. And then my wife gets back, and I usually do my music repairs for the music stores, kind of in the morning. And then you do something with the kids, go ride bikes or go to the pool.
10 out of 10 so far.
And then I do like other carpenter jobs.
Domestic bliss.
Theirs were good. You know, this is it. The fact that you can wake up and do the baby and then have that beautiful moment and then go and start working on music, like oh, that's cool. That's the dream. I feel like is hitting it back and forth like that. Family, music.
I don't know, take the kids to the park for lunch and just type of things. And then
drive the minivan.
And then I make dinner and hang out with the kids.
So you're the cook of the family?
I do.
If the number one.
I am.
What do you like to cook? whether it's for kids and adults is a different
He
thing.
makes a mean ice cream pie.
lemonade pie.
He may be the best pie maker in the band.
Okay.
Best pie maker in the band.
Maybe.
As of this year, I don't know.
I've had more pies from Morgan this year than from Dave. So
Yes.
Dude, you guys, this would be great content. The Aaron Ball Band Pie Contest.
There you go.
Ooh.
Is this going to happen?
this could happen.
Two pie makers. There's
No.
only two.
No,
you need a third.
I'll come up with. I'll make a meat pie.
Guys, do you guys all cook or bake rather? So you could really make this happen.
I barbecue. I cook eggs.
Dude.
We actually started a cooking show one time on tour.
There we go.
Cooking with Aaron.
Yeah, because not every musician cooks, so you guys should know that. So this is cool that you guys all do. I definitely don't. So you're,
That was
Sorry,
on
Morgan.
Jared's birthday.
that is. Yeah,
And your
what's your
birthday,
favorite
too.
thing to make? Not for kids. How about just like for?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like I said,
something
we
fun.
end up doing a lot of spaghetti, but I like really like chunky sauce,
Hell yeah.
sausage, and,
Hell yeah.
and
You
peppers.
You make it
and onions
yourself
and,
and
yeah,
cut up the
yeah.
tomatoes.
I don't do the whole tomatoes. I don't make my own tomato sauce. I usually use a sauce and then add to it.
Sure.
Purple onions, though, right?
Man, Morgan, do you have a
purple onion.
sister?
I don't, but I have sister-in-laws.
Are they single?
Your wife's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, how am I gonna figure that out? That's funny.
Yeah, I do a lot of cooking with potatoes, mashed potatoes,
tight.
and baked potatoes. And
So then, what's I'm trying to think. Because yours is
Anyway.
more. Seems like you need to be at the house every day. So when you're gone, how does that? I mean, how does your wife do it? Back to the beginning of the podcast.
right.
How
right.
does she do it, dude?
Superwoman.
Yeah,
real?
and she's busy, and she's still working stuff over the summer. But
That's wild.
she works from home over the summer.
So
doing different
she's a
things,
hard
but-
worker. So all you guys' spouses are probably hard workers as well as you guys.
Yeah.
Whoever's seeing people, because you got to have someone who understands. That's
Yep.
great, man. I'm stoked because I want that. I want to be able to do that and also be able to tour and leave for a little while.
Yeah, and then I
too long.
practice music and get the kids to bed, read stories. We read a lot of books with the kids. I read Harry Potter, so I read all the Harry
Nice.
Potters up to number 5.
How old are
or
all your
something.
kids?
I've got an 11-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 6-year-old, and then the baby is.
When they say kids, like I have kids, that's what they mean. Like
Yeah.
when someone says I have kids, that's it, dude.
That's kids.
Yeah.
That's kids.
and then an 8-month-old baby.
Yeah.
So and then the 3 boys.
How
and
much
a
do you
girl on
practice?
the end.
Like actual. sit
Well,
down-
and so then in the evenings is when I practice after the kids are to bed.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I'll just sit and practice, and that's what getting rid of the songs. It's like it could be any one of you were talking about. Set
yeah, you're the
lists.
newest guy, so you have the
So,
least chemistry so far.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're falling. Like you're seeing them click, and you're like, I'll get there.
okay, you know.
I have a buddy like that who's just now part of our band, and we all click, and he's still figuring it out.
Sure.
And it's awesome.
Sure, and I'm picking up on the cues. Aaron gives me a cue, and it's like, oh, I think he's leading into this song, kind of thing. And so you're going like that.
You have to ignore them when they talk shit behind the microphone.
Well,
we
speaking
just
of that,
were. Because
Yeah.
It's like he practices bass, but when do you practice making babies? That's the
Well,
tough part.
it literally went from, all right, let's talk about your kids. All right, so when do you practice? It's like, practice making babies?
At least he followed me. He followed me.
That's
I was like,
he's
you
the one
have so
without
many
ADD,
babies.
I guess.
Yeah. My brain, I assume you're all with me. I'm like, oh, I forgot to say that out loud. But no, yeah. How do you have time to practice since you have an 8-month-old?
Right. Yeah. Anyways, but it could be depending on the show.
Yeah.
It could be any one of 150 songs, and I'm
Right.
like,
Right.
what's it gonna be
That's
next?
tough,
What's
yeah.
the next song gonna be? And,
Is there
but
ever
that's-
moments, and you can just tell me, you don't have to tell him, that
When
you don't know the song about halfway through the song?
How often are you regretting this decision on stage, Morgan?
So we've got like this list of songs, and there's some songs I've never heard. Like when I played with you that first week, and I was like, oh, I've never heard this. I don't know this song. And they're just like, okay, just kind of
Do you like close your eyes, really try to
Feel it.
listen hard? Like
Well,
what are the chords?
yeah.
I've
Well, they
been
gave
there.
me chord
I've been there
charts.
on bass. I used
They
to play
gave me
bass.
chord charts, so I
bands,
have an
so-
idea, but
Oh,
it's like
that's
I've
good.
never heard the tune, so I'm like I'm listening, being like, okay, this is what this song's gonna be like.
It's hard to
kinda
do
thing.
fills into the next part of the song when you don't know the song. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also what I love about the band is
So fun.
is
Get you on your
the
toes.
flexibility and the it's not the same thing every night. I work with other bands, and it's the same set every night. Every time they play, it's
a lot of people
the
are like
same set. And so I love the flexibility of this and
spontaneity,
the spontaneity,
the ADD going on.
This reminds me of one of the viral videos of like famous comedians, like Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock were talking, and somebody, I forget who was saying what, but one person was saying, I think Chris Rock was like, I do it exactly the same every time. Exactly the same. Everything is planned. I'll get the laugh where I want the laugh every night. Boom, boom, boom. And him polishing it over and over and over. Totally get that. I totally relate to that. But also the other guy, whichever comedian, whether it was Seinfeld or someone else, was saying, every night's a different room, different people, different vibes. I'm going to try different jokes. I'm going to be loose. And it's like, that's how I perform. Like as a guitar player, every solo is improv, whether for better or for worse. It's like, I haven't even thought about learning a song note for note in a while. But I respect when you're writing your own music. I respect the chiseling, the statue, what is that word?
Michelangelo.
Yeah, even our own music isn't that way though. We're still free with those. I mean, and that's actually Dave and I, the first band we played in together. That's how we met. Is I was playing drums in a band with him, and that's how I kind of got kicked out.
Yeah, we were having too much fun.
Because we'd end a song and we'd look at each other and go, "This is the next song." We'd start a song without. And the leader of the band was really rigid. Like he wanted every solo note for note. He wanted every, and we're like,
that'll get you kicked out.
Yeah, we didn't work so well.
I'd do it too.
Yeah,
so
that's funny.
But that's part of the fun of it, the spontaneity. So,
and another thing that it takes time to get to a good place, whether it's in non-music careers, I'm sure, but with music for sure, it's the first 10 years can be overwhelming, for lack of a better word. Because you don't know, when you're younger, you're worried about like, I need it to be, like I didn't realize you could just book one gig and be like, okay, relax, you got that. Like I thought I had to book $5,000 worth of gigs for the next 3 months, or if I didn't have that on the books, I'd be panicking. But when you realize that's not how it works, you can get away with only having 3 months out at a time because music business is crazy. Yeah. Gigs be getting canceled last minute. You'll be getting gigs last minute.
Right.
If you meet the right people, have connections, all that stuff. But it's hard. But it sounds like all of you guys have gotten to a completely different place, maybe not completely different, but a different place than each other, but also are in the same place in the band. Yeah. Musically, you get together and do that. How often are you touring then? You guys said you were starting to do it a bunch.
Pretty much. I mean, we're booked solid right now through October, end of October.
Yeah, that feels good.
So some of it's weekend warrior kind of stuff. Some of it's, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays. Some of it's 10 days. It just kind of depends on routing and money.
Does each gig pay wildly different, or do you get a close?
Wildly different.
Isn't that crazy? The same act. Well, besides that, you guys improvise, but it's the same act to the crowd, right? But sometimes you can get hundreds, and sometimes you get thousands. It's what in the world?
How do you think Garen got all those chickens?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Oh, I love my chickens. I love my girls. They make me eggs. I get 3 eggs every day.
Hell yeah, dude. Farmhand. I didn't see that coming. I wouldn't have guessed that. Yeah. Just any musician that has a work ethic, I'd never guess at first. Yeah. But we do. It's just a different kind of work ethic.
Right. Yeah. It is.
It's not your standard one.
Well, and then you got guys like Morgan. I mean, to speak to him talking about the set list, like that says something about him as a musician because we played with a lot of guys, and that's one of the first things we'll do is we'll have them come over for a rehearsal if we're trying somebody out, and we'll just start throwing stuff out at them.
Of course.
See if they can hang because that is our show. Yeah, and Morgan handles it.
It's the fastest way to see.
Right. And it's not to like run them off or to make them angry. It's to really go, are you going to fit into what we do? Because we're going to get on stage and somebody's going to say, play some Leonard Skinner, and we're going to have to
and we're going to do it, and we need you to do it with us.
And you need to be able to hang. And so or we'll get into a song and we'll just go, hey, Jared, take a drum solo. Yeah, I mean, just that kind of stuff happens all the time. And so we need somebody Morgan been with us a short time, but it's awesome.
I wish I could go see you guys tonight. I might try to get out of my thing, but it's beach week with the girlfriend and the kids and all that stuff. Sure. But I've seen them for 5 days in a row.
Oh, man.
Let me go down to Tacoma real quick. So if you do see me there.
It's tough having kids every day.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, dude. I don't even have to. Oh, I can't imagine. Dude. They have to, it's funny when you're the uncle. You don't have to see them really in the morning or at the night part. Yeah. How do you get them up and down? That seems like a nightmare. No.
They do it themselves, believe it or not. They just have to facilitate
they become their own autonomous beings at some age.
Some. Yeah.
Some kids, yeah.
They'll let you know when they want up or down.
Yeah, I bet. But yeah, I figured that's pretty good. We got into it. Is there anything you guys want to add before we do a sign out? I think we really solid. I always forget to ask something, but I think that kind of covers it unless there's something super obvious.
Oh,
But I had a super good time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. We hope people check our stuff out.
Absolutely.
We'll see you again.
Yeah, I hope the tour goes well and all the next ones, and keep in touch with us online and tell us where you're playing and stuff, and we'll keep posting it out there and doing our best. So, the Aaron Ball Band, y'all. Stay tuned for their pie eating contest and new music coming very soon. Yeah.